So I'm excited of reviewing this one. This, the ARGO Raft, was just added to the game. So my first impression, it looks like a skeletonized Valkyrie. So what I like when I look at it the first time is, I like this plating. Looks very similar to the top plating of the Valkyrie. And I do like how the rear part gets more exposed. So the proportion of the ship, it looks well balanced in its shape. Now, what I do not like about this here is that the rear part appears to be a bit too noisy in detail. I know it's supposed to be exposed, and they said in the video it's supposed to look like an oil rig, but I think they overdid it. There's too much noise on it. I get those cables, they look nice. You see the cables, but those parts here, they shouldn't be wide like this. That's just there's too much noise in here. And what I do like is those thin, I think it's some metal that's painted over. I like those thin parts here. Okay, the container and the exposed metal looks really bad again. Looks almost like stone. No, I like what they try to do here is have some type of, reminds me of a Sikorsky cargo helicopter. Those are the helicopters where you have the front part with the cockpits, then you have an exposed center part, and something in the back part, and you have the cargo in the center. Oh, I think there's a bit too much empty space for the cargo. It looks like too much ship for just holding those little containers in here. Like the rear part of the ship is a bit too massive. Should be a bit slimmer, a bit more fragile. Okay, I like those engines. The engines look nice. This part looks stupid. And it has that stupid marble texture with that. Not sure, that's some Photoshop render clouds pattern. Looks really bad. Okay. I like how uncompromisingly unflattering this part looks. It doesn't try to look too cool. So I like that part. I like if ships look more functional than trying to look cool and sleek. However, they overdid the whole, as I just mentioned, the whole exposed metal part over here. Okay, there's a little window we can see outside. Okay, let's look at the interior. That's some interesting good detail. Now, what I do like is they actually put some proper geometry into it. They didn't just copy Greebook parts and just slap it all over the ship. That part here looks specially modeled to be part of some type of functionality of, I guess that's the cargo crane or what's holding the containers. Again, here's a bit too much visual noise. You got the blinking lights, which gets really annoying really fast. You get this really bad-looking exposed metal. That's the weak point of this game. They're really bad at painting exposed metal. Not sure why that is. That's the one weak point in the texturing in this game. I think those are thrusters, maneuvering thrusters, that appears to be. But what I do not like is that shape is this elongated, rounded rectangle, and doesn't fit into the exterior. I'm not saying that everything should echo the entire shape all the time. Other ships do that too much, but this looks like too much noise. For example, they should here make this smooth plating right up to the thing and not break it up with too many shapes. Okay, now that skeletonized part looks okay. I think they should have worked more with that metal plating. That looks really nice here. And added some smooth plating on some parts. Because some areas look like they artificially got made to look more detailed than they should be. Sometimes just a smooth plating would have looked better. Yeah, I'm liking this part. See that looks like some good metal. It's a bit greasy on it. It looks like polished metal with some nice clear coat on it. And now for the front part. Looks similar to the mole. Cockpit looks okay. I think from the outside, I like that the airlock thingy, it's supposed to be an airlock thingy, is on the side of the ship. It's slightly asymmetrical. That looks nice. Sure, what is here? It's probably nothing. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's a suspiciously good-looking flashlight. Oh, floodlight, rather. So wait a minute. Oh, I'm liking this. It looks like some really hard plastic. See the dents in it? That looks like some nice material. But I do not like, notice here it gets too busy again with detail. That should be a lot more smooth plating without all that inside and all that. You see here, you got 3 floodlights here, more here, then 2 sets of another one. They're overdoing it here too much. Like, they have space on the ship and the designer thought, okay, where can I put more lights on it? I think they're overdoing it a bit. Like, it looks a bit too much design language. Like, they have design language like it's some mysterious goop that you just slap on everything. See, the front floodlights, they look good. The way they're housed in here, it looks really nice. I like that. But again, they run away with that detail and put it everywhere. Also not liking that bumper thing in the top. See, I think they tried to greeble it up too much in the front, like in the back of the ship. That would look much nicer. It would be just some smooth plating like on the top. So they overdid the detail a bit. And later when we check out the interior, there would have been a great area to have an extra window so you can see it from the upper rooms. But overall, I think it's not disappointing. Let me get my notes. So if you're new to my reviews, I usually rate the ship in 5 or 6 categories. And the categories are exterior, interior, functionality, cockpit, and lighting. And sometimes I review the sound also inside the ship. However, if I review the sound, I'm calculating the average differently. So for example, if I have 5 categories, I do an average divided by 5. And if I got a sound as an extra 6th category, I'm going to divide it by 6. So ships that do not get reviewed on sound don't get an artificial score reduction. Okay. So yeah, the front part looks good. A bit too much noise in here. They should have just flattened that out, but I like that bar. It's a bit too busy, but it's good. I would say it's good. What should I give this ship as for an exterior shape? I'll wait till the end, but so far I think it's one of the better ones. Okay, now let's switch over to the interior. Now for the interior, there's 2 ways to get it. You can get through the airlock, and unfortunately there's an airlock elevator. I say unfortunately because it's an airlock that doubles as an elevator through 2 decks and the airlock. I really hate that in ships because it's unrealistic to have an airlock that's not separated from a lift inside the ship. It's unrealistic, and I think it's a bit lazy on the developer side to just get it done like that. Also, it's kind of lame that this is not a touchpad. It's just a thought button. Okay. I think it's too much orange. Like, they need to tone down the orange a bit. It's a good signal color for Argo, but it doesn't have to be everywhere. Okay, ground texture, a bit too much, a bit too reflective. But I like that plasticky half metal shader to it. It looks better than in some other ships. Let me check the lower deck first. Yeah, reasonable detail over here. I think the spotlight is a bit too washed out and too yellow. You see, there's no ceiling that seals it as an airlock. It's just an open elevator shaft going into space. That's really bad. That looks nice. So they should really allow for players to set an elevator or any door to hold open, because that's really irritating in this game. Doors that auto open, you can't stop it. Okay, so see what's happening now? I'm getting attacked by 3 doors at the same time. You stand somewhere in this room, you have a lot of doors opening, even if you don't want them to open. Yeah, that's just stupid. I hate this. Let's examine this room. I'm not liking the orange. It's a bit too much. The lighting of the room is okay, but I want to point out something later on it. Oh, it looks nice. It looks like some metal cables, some flat cables. There's nice reflectivity to it. It's a lot better than the mold, because the mold had greasy aluminum everywhere, so that looks a lot better. I like that plasticky look to it. Lighting is a bit washed out, but it's not too extreme. Not liking the lights getting in your face too much. Liking the functional door panels. And what I do not like is that everything is orange. You see, the screws are orange. They shouldn't be orange. Also, those stupid lights, they shouldn't be there. Like, put the blinking lights if there's a function to it. If there's no function to it, just make the plate completely smooth. Because everything that's supposed to blink or touchable should be in here. I hate, in case you caught up on my reviews before, I really don't like random blinking lights. So where should I start? I'll do the cockpit last. So first, I like the gray-orange mix. This room looks promising. First, I'll check this room out. That's supposed to be the airlock. And I really do like this part already. Okay, wait, first I'm going to take off all my stuff. So the breathing sounds are not male anymore because they're really irritating if you play a female character. And if you take off all your flight suits, the breathing is female again. Of course, that's some bug, I think. Okay, now this is one of the best rooms in any ship so far because it has that padding like in the Nostromo. I'm a big fan of the Alien movies, so that's one of the best rooms in the entire game. What I do not like is it's too much fog. You see the fog in this room. Really beautiful geometry. Now that's the airlock. That's supposed to be a docking collar too, I think. Now, what I like about this room is that it's a nice place to get out of the ship. If you're in space, you have a quick EVA spot. That's still realistic in terms of being an actual airlock. It's not just an extra door. Of course, that door should look a bit more like a sealed airlock and not like a random door. Because if you're standing in this place, you go in this room, you have no idea that's an airlock, except for the labeling on the door. Oh, really good detail here. That's a really good room. Now, what I mentioned earlier about the lighting is, you switch here to different lighting profile. The ship looks a lot better in that low light profile. As you can see here, what the hell? Okay. In this low light profile, it looks a lot better. And it's the same thing if you go into this room. Now, what I do not like is that the light switches in this room, they're attached always to a door. So if I press the light switch here, I'm not sure, does it mean it's going to switch a light in here, or is it going to be the switching light in here? So light switches should be a separate thing away from door switches, if possible. But the developers probably got lazy and just slapped them on the same thing. Okay, so that's a fantastic room. It's beautiful. Now let's go into this, I think it's a habitation area. Oh, really liking that detail. Dirty over here. Check this out. That's living quarters, I think. Now, geometrically, I think that's a beautiful space. It has a certain Nostromo look to it. It has this built-in functional space kitchen. I'm liking the padding. I do not like this part. It's going to hurt you if you lean against it. I like the view to the outside. However, it's kind of wasted because the containers get in the way all the time. But I still like it's there. But there should be more windows to the outside. Maybe one in here would have been nice. That's really nice here. They avoided making this here the same texture as this here because there was a problem I didn't like in the mall. They had a similar cafeteria area and they just used the ground floor texture on this one. And this one didn't do it. I think that's really nice. Really liking the plastic shader. See here? That looks good. Okay, let's see. So here's the thing about particles, or smoke effects rather. No, I'm actually going to talk about it in the engine room. That's the wrong room. Okay, so you have a inventory area. Now, what is not good about that thing is, see, when you open inventory as a normal character, it switches like this. That looks elegant and smooth. However, if you do that while you're looking at a container, it kind of takes you out of the game because you suddenly get the camera from behind like this. So when you access installed containers on a ship, it should do something different. Not sure what it should do, but it really gets a bit in the way here. What I do like is the lighting is not too strong. However, it's a bit too busy in detail. So if you look up here, this area looks nice. It's adequately lit. It's bright, but it's not too much. However, this place, lamp in your face, lamp in your face, lamp in your face. It's too much to expose in this area. You see it in those areas, too much metal sheen on them. And that smoke particle effect sucks, like really bad. Oh, what's that? Yeah, that's really good detail. I like how the whole ship isn't in one color scheme. I like here you got the classic ARGO orange and brown. Gray, rather. I like this beige and this darker beige here. That's a really good contrast. Yeah, that's living space. That's an amazingly good looking space in this game, in the ship. It's functional, compact, and they put some detail work into it. They didn't go just too lazy for it. For example, if you notice the hab areas in most landing zones, they look beautiful. And very few ships can actually match the beauty of those landing zone habs. And that's the first ship I see where the hab area inside the ship looks similarly beautiful. It has that Nostromo beauty to it. However, it's an elegant mix of different styles from previous ships. That's a really good place here. Okay, then you got the bed bunks. Again, Nostromo padding, can't go wrong with that. And they also double as escape pods later when it's functional. That's what the developer said. Oh no, that's going to work, but yeah, I'm really liking this room. So like this one. It's definitely a step up from the wall. Okay, so what do we have here? Ooh, I'm liking this part. Oh, it looks good. This looks like some armory type of room. Okay, I guess that's the bathroom. I like the shader on it. Elegant opening. Also, if you notice, I think they have no sound citadels because they rushed it probably for the expo. I think it's a bit too monotone, but it's good. I think they got a bit lazy with the coloring here, everything the same color, but they pick good colors, so can be forgiven, I think. Lighting is not too exposed. That's good. Okay, that's the bathroom area. Oh, we can open that. That's really cool. Wait. Okay, you can see I'm a vampire because I don't have any reflection. It has a certain coziness, but also it's claustrophobic. The way that lighting is soft enough to throw a cast shadow in here. Yeah, and the way notice how the door panel is actually walked into the geometry of the place. That's beautiful. Yeah, I'm liking this bathroom. The lighting here is a bit too blue, but I think it has tasteful contrast with the red over here. I think they learned that from the Starlifter. I think those all are the same type of armor lockers. And I think the developer said you can later create your own armor set, put it in a locker, and then put it on it in one piece. It's like a loadout save mechanism at some point. See, that's what I don't like about Inner Thought. I want to press here, but you notice how far the range is from that thing. So if you want to click something here, you press in a button. Not sure why those are red, but it's a nice color balance. And you get the weapon rack over here. There's some nice different colors on it, and some warning labels, or some serial numbers. Not liking this effect. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm done with this deck right now. I go to the cockpit last, so let's go to the upper deck. Now you can take the elevator, which you can find over here. You can get to the top deck, or you can just... They really gotta make those door hold open. It's really irritating. So, okay, we take the ladder. Of course, the ladder doesn't have proper animations fitted to it. You see that? That's just lazy. Because every single ladder needs to have its own ladder animations perfectly fitted to the hand animations. It just has to. Because Red Dead Redemption, I think, has it too. Okay, now this is... Yeah, it's a bit dramatic, but it looks okay, I guess. Now that's, I think, a component upper deck. Okay, first I'll start here. Now, what I do like here, you see the color contrast. You have this beige and this darker gray or brown, whatever. And I like how it actually gets narrower as you get closer into it. That's a really well-designed room. That's better than most cockpits in the game right now. And the piping over here, notice here that nice plasticky or painted metal sheen. That's really good. Is that some padding or some other? Yeah, I'm really liking this room. And that canopy, look at those beautiful functional struts. And the inserts over here, oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, positively surprised with that room. That's just beautiful in here. Look at those little band cables. And they should remove those random monitors that don't show anything. Like every monitor should have a function to it. Maybe it should be some readout or something you can cast on it. By that I mean like maybe have some comms, MFD or something. That. Nice cables. It looks a lot better. It's like that's how beautiful the animal ships should look. That's the weak point with animal ships. They have this weird stony looking metal quality, but this really a step up. That's beautiful. And this is supposed to be a station for using tractor beams later when they're functional, so you can, I guess, load containers. Oh, look at that beautiful detail. With a little box between the cables. Yeah. It should make smaller ships like this with just a canopy like that. That is just beautiful. I can't stop looking at it. They picked some really good colors here. I'm not liking that font. Now, if you use it right now, it's just an MFD for power or something. Okay, now what I do not like, notice here, beautiful, tasteful, soft colors. And now here you got that overly dramatic yellow and blue. Not a fan of that. The room geometry is nice, but it's just the lighting is not good. Now, let me show you something. Need to find the... See, now I have to go to the end of the room to find the light switch. That's stupid. Switching the low profile lighting. Let's look at the same room again. Come on, open up. Notice the difference. Much more tasteful. It's almost, I think it's a greenish lighting, like some light greenish tint. Looks much more tasteful, I think. It makes the geometry look better. Now, what I do not like is, first of all, there's too much fog. You can see that stupid fog everywhere. They need to reduce that fog. And the lighting is spotty. There's a lot of little light sources, but there's no defined light source where it's coming from. Like, the room looks too bright while it's supposed to look dark. Notice that. This area should be darker with a light profile, and the light sources, I phrase it differently, the difference between light and dark should be more intense in this room. Because it looks way too well lit for the light source being really small. See here, there's little sources, but the entire room is a bit too dark, too bright. Not sure whether there's a huge space. Maybe there's something missing. I mean, it looked like gigantic car batteries, so things. The components all work. I mentioned when I earlier complained about the particle effect. So this one looks a lot better than the other ones. Okay. You see that fog? It's way too much fog in here. See that? We need to get rid of those random fog things to quote unquote enhance the room. It just ruins it. Yeah, that one opens. Good animation here. Now that's the engine room, I would say. Now, during the video, when I record it, I usually keep the in-game audio a bit much lower than my voice so you can hear me talking. However, for this part of the video, I'm going to keep the audio as it is so you can hear how brutally noisy that room is. It's like a industrial washing machine. It's a bit too loud. They should be more subdued. I think that room is a bit wasted. They waste a lot of space for nothing. Okay, you got the components in here. You got I guess that's the engine or the power source. I'm not sure. And again, notice the lighting is washed out and too intense. They should have, like in the kitchen room, like one defined light source that fills the entire room. Too many spotty little lights and too many little lamps on the ground. Not like in this room. It's a bit too blue, I think. Now, does this room have some lighting profile? It appears not to have it. They should really add some subdued lighting profile for this room. Now, as I mentioned particle effects earlier, I would talk about this in this room. Now, first pay attention to this on the ground. You see this one? That's a really cheap particle effect. Now, compared to this one, notice how this one looks much better. It actually looks like it's some fog from a dry ice machine. It's actually vaporing out of the thing. That's a beautiful effect. However, this effect over here on the ground that you barely can see, that's a really bad one. And this one is really bad too. See the difference in quality? It's not consistent. Again, it's the elevator leading downstairs. They should have separated that. That's a really bad part of the ship. Again, you have the components over here. Don't open yet. And that MFD should be something you can actually interact with. Again, too many lamps, too much fog, too many light shafts. So this room is ruinous for the ship. It really drags down the quality of the entire thing. So now let's go for the cockpit. I have to go downstairs again. Yeah, this is absolutely rage-inducing, having to wait for the door to open every time. It should be just a button where you can just freeze the current door in the current state, which means you press lock. If it's open, it locks open. If it's closed, you press lock, it locks the door shut. That's how it should be. Okay, now the bridge room. Again, the lighting is too orange, too blue at the same time. Okay, let's see if we can change the profile here. Big fat flashlight in your face, not good. Again, flashlight in your face. Random MFD with no purpose, not good. Okay, let's see, look at the detail over here. Check out the MFDs. I hope they're better than the classic Carrack MFDs, where it's just extruded boxes and that was it. Let's check out the pilot seat. So this way I rate the cockpit experience. Okay, first thing, it's too orange. Just because the ship is Argo and the signature color of the company is orange doesn't mean everything has to be orange. Because notice how unnerving it is. The entire screen is filled with orange colors, and that's a signal color that's making it's supposed to alert you to danger or something. So they should really allow players to have more neutral colors in it. Other than that, let's look at the. Okay, the buttons look nice, but you can barely see them because it's too dark. And what the developers really have difficulty with is to understand why buttons have backlighting in real life. So you can see them better, so you can see the lighting, also you can see the text better. The problem here is that the font is almost unreadable because it's one of those thick monospace fonts, like those sci-fi fonts. You can see you can barely see anything unless you zoom in really hard. In the flight simulator, you can actually see the labels much better. And the backlighting should help you see the lettering, not obscure it. And currently obscures it. Also, the backlighting doesn't have to be orange. Like, not everything in this thing has to be orange. They could make the backlighting here white and this here white and perhaps make some emergency buttons red instead of orange. It's souped up. Everything is too orange in this ship, in the cockpit. I do like the reflections. They look nice. I like the canopy. Yeah, that reminds me of a Hammerhead, but with better textures. The cockpit geometry is good. Oh, look at that detail. You see that detail over here? It looks like some cushion for vibrations or when you hit something. That looks really nice. Now, I'm not sure about the sticks in here. They look a bit too large. They look like they were made for much larger hands. You see, if you want to reach it with your thumb, you have to slide up and you can barely reach it. So they did it a bit too big. It's too big, basically. Okay, let's see. Yeah, cockpit is good. Now this part looks ugly. They got lazy. You see, it's not properly fitted. They just made something and then they sort of stretched the annunciator panel into it. But that part is lazy. They should have just fitted properly into it. That's really dragging it down. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to final scoring. Okay, now let's start with the exterior. ARGO Raft. Okay, what should the exterior get? I'm going to switch to the cockpit seat so I can see the exterior. So, exterior. Let's compare my notes. C2 cockpit. I gave the Starlifter a 9 out of 10 for the exterior. Hammerhead got an 8 out of 10 for the exterior. I think it's very close to the Hammerhead. I think the shape is not as good as the Hammerhead, but the material quality is a lot better than the Hammerhead. So I think they both should get an 8 out of 10. Now interior. Now the interior quality is textures, how beautiful the place looks from the interior. And lighting is separate from that. So let me just walk through the ship to get my inspiration back. I like that plasticky Argo stuff. I really like that Nostromo padding in that room. The engine room really sucks. This room is really nice. Now the armory area looks really nice too. That's almost Starlifter quality. In some areas even better. So let's compare it to the Starlifter, which is my reference standard for good stuff. Now the interior looks at the Starlifter, I gave it 10 out of 10. Now is this one worth a 10 out of 10? I'd say no, it's almost 10 out of 10. I'm kind of stuck between 8 and 9. Did I give the Hammerhead? Let me check. Hammerhead got a 10 out of 10. I think this one deserves a 9 out of 10. But then again, the engine room sucks really bad in the default lighting, but that's a more lighting issue. I'm kind of stuck between 8 and 9. I should have given 8 out of 9. I wonder what did I give to the 400? 400, what did I give to the 400? Let me check. Interior in the 400, I got an 8 out of 10. However, this one is it's just really difficult. There's some areas I really like a lot, but yeah, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. If that engine wouldn't suck so bad, it would be a 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 rather. Okay, now the interior functionality. Now, what I really do hate is that it has elevator shaft that doubles as an airlock. That sucks really hard. I do like this layout. It's functional, it's beautiful, it's custom designed, it's not just some ugly copy-paste. As I mentioned earlier, the top engine room could have used a better window. It has an armory, it has a bathroom, it has an extra ladder you can go upstairs instead of wasting space for staircases. The layout, for the most part, makes sense of the ship. Yeah, there's not much to complain about for functionality, so can be compared to the reference interior functionality. Starlifter got only a 6 out of 10 because the entire top deck is 60% of it is just the hallway. A beautiful hallway, but it's just a hallway. Hammerhead got 9 out of 10. It's also mostly hallways, but it has a mess hall and all the cool stuff. So let's see the 400. I got a 7 out of 10 for interior functionality. I'm giving this one a 7 also. Because that elevator airlock, that really annoys me. Not liking this one. Okay, then we got the cockpit experience. Cockpit experience. Okay, it's better than anything that Origin has because it actually has consoles. The MFDs are also a step up from the ugly Carrack MFDs. They could use better texturing, but it's one of the better. I expected much worse from an Argo ship in terms of cockpit quality. So, okay, cockpit quality of the C2 was 7 out of 10. So this one is better than the C2 cockpit because the dashboard is actually properly aligned to the player. So I'm going to cockpit 8 out of 10. And now we go to the lighting. Now, it's kind of paradox. The lighting in the ship is actually really good if you use that lower lighting profile where it's mostly green and not that orange-blue thing. However, the engine room sucks really bad with the default lighting that you can't change. This room has relatively good lighting. Let's look at the lighting. Yeah, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. If they would get it a bit better calibrated, I think it would be almost 10 out of 10 in lighting. Should I separately rate the sound in this one? I won't do it because it's probably not complete. So what's the average score? So, average score is 7.6 out of 10. Yeah, I like this ship. It mixes some of the better design features from a Starlifter interior, from the Hammerhead and from the Reclaimer, with the padding and all that. And it's avoiding some of the older mistakes from the Argo ships. So I'm positively surprised with this ship. So this should conclude the review. I hope it was entertaining to watch, and see you next time.